Chapter 151. Pretending to be a clone and farming a spirit body. Don't be afraid, if you kill me, you'll be able to break the formation. Sanshi smiled and formed a seal. His essence energy fluctuated and instantly split into another identical clone of him. This was the first time he had used the one-chi cloning technique against an enemy. With this technique, the following courting death process would be even more high-end and confusing, making it difficult for them to detect him. He no longer had to deliberately send his neck to the enemy like before. Cloning spell, you know quite a lot of tricks. Second Master Lu stared at the two identical and indistinguishable Sanshi. Unfortunately, we have 4 heads. If I hadn't underestimated you, we would have 8 heads. Sanshi looked at the 4 heads of the snake and thought to himself, I hope these guys can kill me a few more times. Whoosh, whoosh. Thetwo figures separated left and right and rushed into the fog in a flash. In a place where the enemy couldn't see, the clone stayed behind. Only Sanshi's main body rushed towards 8-Lin Snake. Now, he had to seize the time to die. How could he let his clone affect him? In the fog, the 4 of them were extremely vigilant of their surroundings. A circle of dark green airflow filled the surroundings. At the same time, they stuck out their tongues and used special methods to sense the situation. Here they come. Second Master Li's eyes turned cold. Without hesitation, he controlled his snake head to bite at the fog. Sanshi, who was engulfed in flames, rushed out. It was as if he had taken the initiative to enter the snake's mouth and was immediately bitten. Second Master Lu laughed sinisterly. Do you think you can blind us with the fog? Snakes don't rely on their eyes to sense food. He clenched his claws tightly, and rows of poisonous teeth emerged from the snake's mouth, stabbing down like sharp swords. With a crisp sound, blood splattered everywhere and Sanshi became unrecognizable. Oh, he was killed so easily. Second Master Lu was surprised. This person's body was very powerful. It could be seen from the fact that he had collided with the 8-limbed snake with his bare hands. How could he be bitten to death so easily? It's a clone. He thought of a possibility and secretly activated his Dharma treasures to take precautions. The other 3 snakeheads stopped in shock. They were originally prepared to worsen the casualty, but since he was bitten to death in one bite, it made things a little awkward. Be careful. This is a clone. The main body, still preparing to ambush us. Second Master Lu snorted and spat out the corpse. He controlled the snake tail to coil up and protect the snake's head. Indeed, in the next second, the bloody corpse disappeared in the fog. It's really a clone. It looks so real, it almost fooled me. This person's clone technique is impressive. This is the first time I've seen a clone that can bleed. Fortunately, the young master is smart and recognized it. As the 3 of them discussed, they each guarded a direction and praised him respectfully. Second Master Lu raised his snake head and scanned the area, locking onto locations. Snakes could sense temperature and Sanshi happened to be of the fire attribute. In his eyes, Sanshi was like a torch. Even if the yin-yang reversal formation could affect perception, it was not a problem to determine Sanshi's approximate location through the temperature. Sanshi set the resurrection point next to the clone. It looked like he had condensed another clone. You can sense my approximate location? Your snake talent is indeed quite special. Sanshi felt that he was fighting demons and not humans. Some concepts that could be applied to humans were not applicable here. If it was someone else facing such an enemy, it would be very troublesome. As he had a cheat, he was willing to fight this kind of enemy to increase his stats. Again, Sanshi's main body dispersed all his defensive methods. It was precisely because he made himself purposely unguarded that the other party's snake mouth could bite him to death. If there was something bad that could happen from doing this, it would be that the system would add physique points to him after he revived, which would cause his body to become stronger and stronger until he could not be bitten to death anymore. If he improved further, he would be able to condense a spirit body. It's coming again. Kill. Sensing that a living creature was approaching, Second Master Lu said, in a deep voice, Young Master, this time let me do it. It's just a clone after all. A voice came from the earth element snake's head. The cultivator inside took the initiative to volunteer. After making a hand seal, a black spike appeared in the snake's mouth. With a powerful force, it swallowed Sanshi. Splat! Sanshi was crushed and blood flowed out of the snake's mouth. This blood is quite real. I can even smell the blood. Second Master Lu stared at the rapidly disappearing blood and felt that it was surreal. Young Master, it should be because we are under the influence of the array formation. It's very normal for our perception to be altered. Another Foundation establishment cultivator explained. Then kill him one by one. Let's see how many clones he can condense. Second Master Lu crossed his arms and ordered his subordinates to form a triangular formation to guard against Song Shi. He then stopped attacking. Every few seconds, a clone would approach and be killed by the three of them. This person doesn't even dare to let his main body come over. He probably wants to consume our spiritual essence, but doesn't he think that one person can outlast the four of us? As long as we don't let him escape, it won't be long before he collapses from exhaustion. The few of them responded calmly and even had the time to mock Song Shi. They seemed to be in good condition. However, as time passed, they spoke less and less, and their expressions gradually darkened. After killing the clone 50 times, the four of them remained silent. What kind of cloning technique could conserve so much cultivation and yet condense clones so many times? Shouldn't every clone consume a lot of cultivation? It didn't make sense. The few of them were a little suspicious of what they were killing. Young Master, my spiritual essence is exhausted. I have to rest to recover. The Woodstats cultivator was sweating profusely. His cultivation was the lowest and he was the first to collapse. It wasn't just him. The other two weren't in a good state either, causing the might of the battle formation to weaken greatly. Eight-limbed snake's body shrunk and it looked like it might collapse. HMPH, it'll destroy the clone. Hurry up and restore your bodies. The few of you can switch places later. Second Master Lu switched places with his subordinates. He stared coldly at the fog and began to feel uneasy. This person's main body was very powerful, and at this moment, since he used such a method, he was not easy to kill at all and might even be dangerous. Sensing that Song Shi seemed to be able to constantly condense clones, the four of them began to kill the clones, trying their best to maintain their physical state. As he continued to die, Song Shi silently used the enemy's misunderstanding to improve himself. He didn't have any goals, he just needed to tire these guys out. Then, he would kill them all and obtain for lucky draw chances. That would simply be perfect. If I die a few more times, I should be able to transform. Song Shi sensed his condition peaking and took the initiative to rush towards the snake's mouth. After 3 times, an additional system notification sounded in Song Shi's ears. Ding! You have been killed 1,000 times by physical attacks. Your physique has been upgraded to a low-grade diamond spirit body. Your physique has increased by 1,000 points. Your strength, flesh, and bone strength have increased by 3 times. Vajra runes appeared on Song Shi's body. These runes combined to form mysterious patterns that made his body look indestructible. His flesh and blood emitted will-o-wisps and lit up, making him look like a humanoid numinous artifact. This was a phenomenon that only great mastery of the spirit body could produce. Even people with innate spirit bodies had to cultivate to reach this level. Song Shi felt that he was full of strength. He felt as if he could shatter Dharma treasures with his bare hands.